Deep beneath the blue waters lie mysteries that are hidden from our eyes. But sometimes the ocean decides to reveal them.
A creature from the deep that washed ashore in Ocean County, New Jersey had people asking, what is it?
We saw a bunch of people huddled around. We didn't even know what they were huddled around. So we walked over to see what it was, and we saw this dead animal. It was about the size of a small dog.
It was hairless, but it had patches of hair.
They are spotted in the oceans,
Guys, do you see this?
stranded on the shores, and are captured through cameras. What's left is gathered in this video to let you know what happens when authorities spot strange creatures and act immediately.
Oh my goodness.
We were looking for a spot to sit, and we saw a bunch of people huddled around. We didn't even know what they were huddled around. So we walked over to see what it was, and we saw this dead animal.
A group of friends had a spooky surprise during their summer day at the beach in Montauk, Long Island. While walking on the southern shore, they found something that gave them the chills.
What is this thing?
Wow.
It was a sea creature that looked a bit like a dog, but it was small, almost hairless, and had a beak like a flying dinosaur.
It was about the size of a small dog.
It was hairless, but it had patches of hair, and then it had like a long, like dog tail. Head of it, which was where it was really weird, and what astonished everyone was like it had like a beak.
Its fingers were like human hands, and it had a tail like a dog. The scariest part was a rope tied around its arm, as if someone had trapped it. The locals didn't know what to do, so they buried the strange creature right there on the beach. This creepy find left everyone wondering what kind of animal it could have been. Strange creature. A family and son's boat trip near Wolf Island took an unexpected turn when they spotted something unusual. As they sailed along, they saw a lifeless animal floating in the water. It was huge, about as tall as a grown-up. The creature looked like a big snake. The son quickly posted about what they saw online. When experts looked at it closely, they thought it might be a pliosaur, a type of ancient sea monster. People lived nearby waiting for months to hear what scientists would say about this scary-looking animal found off South Georgia's coast. But no one ever explained it. Some folks started to wonder if the scientists were keeping secrets about what really lives in the deep ocean. Exploding sea creature. While walking along the Canada River, two friends spotted a strange animal. It had a funny-looking mouth and no eyes or fingers. The tourists thought it might need help, so they poured some soft drink in its mouth to wake it up. But as soon as they did, the creature spat out some white stuff. Surprised, the boys posted a video of it online, and scientists who saw it explained why the animal reacted that way. The drink was too sour for the creature, and its fight or flight kicked in, making it react in such a way. This beach adventure turned into an unexpected science lesson for everyone. Loch Ness Monster. A couple's trip to Scotland turned into an unexpected adventure they'll never forget. While visiting a big, dark lake, they saw something strange in the water. There was a mysterious shape floating far away. The couple felt both curious and a little scared. They quickly grabbed their camera and started filming. Later, they showed the video to some marine scientists who were really surprised. The experts called it the pipe-faced leviathan. They said it looked like a mix between a snake and a pipe. This sighting reminded everyone of the famous Loch Ness Monster stories. The couple left the lake in a hurry, with an amazing tale to tell their friends back home. Mysterious creature.
What kind of animal is this? What kind of sea creature is this?
A family's fun beach day took an unexpected turn when they found something strange in the sand. During their picnic, they spotted a lifeless animal nearby. It looked like a long dog with big paws and a short nose.
What kind of animal is this? What kind of sea creature is this? It looks kind of like it's a half dog.
Its white body was cold and seemed to have been floating in the water for a long time. The happy mood quickly changed to worry and confusion. The family called for help right away. When officials arrived, they identified the creature as a Norwegian Lundhound dog, and its owner had reported it missing to the police. This discovery solved a mystery, but ended the family's beach day in an unusual way. Monster fish. A group of beachgoers in Bundaberg got a big surprise when they found a fish as heavy as a small car. While walking on the beach, they saw a huge fish about as long as a tall person. The young boys quickly took pictures and posted them online, asking if anyone knew what it was. As they were about to leave, they noticed something weird. The fish's side fin was really close to its tail. The next day, when they went back to look at it again, the fish was gone. Fish experts later said it was probably a grouper, a type of fish that locals sometimes catch for breakfast. This giant fish sighting turned a regular beach day into an exciting adventure. Remains of strange creature. This amazing discovery made people wonder if sea monsters were real. It wasn't a fish, but a giant bone. The bone had ribs that looked like the bottom of a boat. There was also a big cracked skull, and the whole thing reminded the sailor of sea monsters from old stories. The scene was like something from a scary movie. Later, marine experts came to look at the bones. They said it belonged to a sea serpent. This discovery made everyone curious about what other mysterious creatures might be hiding in the deep ocean. Unidentified monster. A scary-looking creature washed up on Long Island, making everyone afraid.
Oh, they're big teeth. They're like teeth.
The strange animal had no fur and looked like a small, rotten dog.
That's really weird. That's so weird.
But it had weird features that made people think it wasn't just a normal pet.
Look like human
Yeah,
teeth.
but still, those teeth in the back, they ain't like humans.
Its fingers were long and skinny like matchsticks. Its hands looked like chicken feet.
Like matchsticks, the fingers. They're just dangling. So weird.
Like a chicken claw.
Yeah.
The head was the scariest part. It didn't look human at all and had what seemed to be a beak. No one could agree on what this Montauk monster really was. People came up with all sorts of ideas about what kind of creature it could be. The mystery of the Montauk monster remains unsolved, leaving everyone wondering what strange animals might be out there. Weird carcass. During a walk along a lonely beach, government workers found something that left them puzzled. They came across a weird-looking creature. It had a mouth full of sharp, pointy teeth that anyone could easily see. The sight was pretty creepy. The creature had two skinny, long legs with clawed feet at the end. Its body was very pale and thin. The strangest part was its head. It looked like a mix of different animals all put together. Even the researchers couldn't figure out what kind of animal it was. Because no one could identify it, this beach discovery remained a mystery that got everyone talking and wondering. Eerie mammal. A scary surprise washed up on Ronstrom Beach in India, shocking the local fisherwoman. They found a huge 7-foot-long motionless being on the shore. It was brown and very swollen. The creature had a long mouth that was wide open, and its lower jaw was torn apart, making it look like a monster from a bad dream. Though it was rotten, you could see a strange shape with no fins. Its bones were sticking out through its skin. At first, people thought it might be a porpoise, but soon stories about a sea monster called Encrypt started going around. Many began to believe that ocean currents had brought this mysterious monster from the deep sea to their beach. 300 stranded whales. A depressing and unsettling sight greeted visitors to a beach in Chile in 2015, located 2,000 kilometers south of Santiago. The bodies of more than 300 whales had washed up on the coast. Some of the whale bodies were as tall as a house. Marine biologists were shocked. They couldn't explain why or how this happened to them. Was it a virus? Changes in the ocean? No one knew for sure. The reason behind the whale deaths remained a mystery. Everyone was reminded of how fleeting marine life can be and how much we still do not know about the oceans on our planet. Unidentified carcass. Something strange washed up on the rocky shores of Carlova Island near Mexico's Baja coast. Locals found a chilly, unidentified skeleton that left them scratching their heads. The creature had a weird alien-like head and a scaly reptilian body. People couldn't figure out what it was.
Some
even thought it might be from outer space. The skeleton became famous on the internet, with lots of people sharing pictures and videos. Even though it got really popular, no scientist could identify this big creature. In the end, everyone had to admit it was a mystery. The strange skeleton from Carlova Island remains unexplained to this day, leaving people wondering what secrets the ocean might still be hiding. Mysterious horned creatures.
Experts and law officials are baffled by an enormous horned corpse that washed ashore in Spain.
In Veracruz, people couldn't believe their eyes when they saw a huge sea creature washed up on the shore. It was as long as a ship. The beast had a smooth body and a head that looked like it had horns. It seemed like something from a storybook had come to life. Marine scientists thought it might be like the famous Loch Ness monster. On the internet, people said it could be a sea serpent, but some smart folks thought it might be a deep-sea fish, or even a new kind of animal no one had ever seen before. The mystery of what this creature really was remains unsolved, leaving everyone curious about what other secrets the ocean might be hiding. Decaying stingray.
What is that?
When a family discovered an odd creature partially buried in the sand, their beach excursion took an unsettling turn. The animal was mostly reduced to a bizarre skeleton as its body rotted away. At first glance, it looked like something from another world. It had bat-like wings and an odd bony shape. Bits of meat clung to the wing bones, giving it an extra creepy appearance. As it turned out, this was not an alien at all. It was a stingray that had become trapped in the sand while looking for food.
That's a stingray. That's a stingray.
Even though the mystery had been solved, the family could not shake the unsettling feeling. Their beach discovery reminded them of how mysterious and sometimes scary the deep ocean can be. Whale carcass. A big crowd gathered at a beach in Cape Town, South Africa, to watch scientists deal with something huge that washed ashore. It was the body of a massive gray whale as long as a school bus. Marine scientists came to move it. They used a big excavator to lift the whale onto a truck. While the workers were busy, people watched in amazement and took videos with their phones. Moving with such a big animal was tricky and tense, but the team did a great job. Everyone stayed quiet to let them work. This unusual event became a big memory for many people who saw it, showing them how impressive whales really are. White Bear's End. A group of hikers had a scary surprise when they found something strange deep in the forest. At first, they thought they saw a big white animal, but as they got closer, they realized it was much creepier. It was actually a huge beast covered in white maggots. The animal had big paws, long claws, and furry skin that was rotting away.
This is an actual dead bear.
The sight was both interesting and gross. The maggots crawling all over made the white coat look like it was moving.
Like moving. This thing is disgusting.
Even though it was yucky, the hikers learned something important. They saw how nature takes care of things and turns them back into part of the forest. It was a weird but eye-opening lesson about the circle of life and death in nature. Mythical sea serpent. After a big earthquake, people in Bhutan woke up to find something unbelievable on their beach. The creature resembled a snake in body and a dragon in head. It looked so weird and scary that local fishermen were afraid to see it. At night, the snake's scales seemed to glow in an eerie way. But instead of telling the authorities, the scared villagers decided to deal with themselves. They threw the parts away and buried them in the ground. They hoped this would stop the sea serpent from causing any trouble in their town. Odd-looking monster. On a chilly winter morning, old fisherman Dave Carter got a big surprise during his dog walk on an English beach. There on the sand was a huge rotting animal body. Its skin was gone, showing its rib bones and other yucky parts sticking out of the decaying flesh. At first, in the dim light, Dave thought someone had dumped a cow on the beach. He took pictures of everything he saw and told the officials about it. Dave wanted them to clean up the beach so that other visitors wouldn't get scared of the sea. His morning walk had turned into an unexpected adventure. Rotting croc. A family's peaceful picnic turned into a scary adventure on the shores of West New Britain. While enjoying their day, they stumbled upon a frightening sight, a huge deceased reptile. The creature was as long as 3 cars and lay still on the sand. Its body was swollen and covered in tiny wriggling maggots. The family could see its enormous mouth and greenish rotting skin, showing why it was one of the jungle's biggest hunters. Ants were crawling in and out of holes in its body, and grubs had made their home in the rotten flesh. The family quickly took a few pictures and then ran away, leaving nature to take care of the creepy creature. Creepy sea creature. A fisherman's normal day at sea turned into a scary surprise when he caught something unusual in his net. As he pulled in his catch, the net shook hard, which totally stunned him, as he did not know what or why this was happening. As he looked inside, he saw it was a lamprey, a strange eel-like creature with a round mouth full of sharp teeth that made the fisherman just as surprised as he was terrified. Feeling a bit weak, he quickly took some pictures and measured the lamprey.
Look at that tongue. Look at those teeth.
Then, without wasting any time, he returned the eel back into its habitat. Creepy river creature. A scuba diver exploring a rocky shore on Thailand beach found something that made his jaw drop. As he searched the area, he noticed a slimy creature on the stones. It wiggled and changed shape in a way that amazed him. Using a stick, he gently lifted it to get a better look. The creature had a long snake-like body covered in slime. It reminded him of a giant black shoelace. The diver thought it might be a bootlace worm, a sea animal that lives near shores. Being careful not to agitate it, he put the strange creature in the water and watched it swim away back to its home. Mysterious gooey creature. While walking on the shore in Thai Sea, a man found a large, scary-looking creature. But as he watched, something magical happened. The creature started to glow bright blue. Excited by what he found, the man took pictures to share with others. He sent the photos to a group of marine scientists. They quickly figured out that the glowing creature was an Atolla jellyfish, also called a crown jellyfish because of its long tentacles and round top. The scientists told everyone that these amazing animals really do live in our oceans. This incredible find reminded people that there are still many amazing things to discover in the sea. Morfa monster. A family's beach vacation turned into an unexpected adventure when they watched their holiday videos. However, they noticed something strange that they had not noticed before. Something tiny, slimy, and gray materialized out of the sand. It waved its arms, pointing mainly at their young one. The head of this terrifying snake-like creature seemed to jut out from behind it. The family shared the video online and it spread quickly. People came up with all sorts of ideas about what it could be, from a hidden sea animal to a completely new species. This surprising discovery made their beach trip one they'd never forget. Unidentified sea creature. A strange discovery on a Mexican beach left locals puzzled and excited. One day, a man spotted something weird on the sand. It was a long, floppy creature, about as long as a car. The animal looked old and forgotten. Some people tried to move it with a stick, but it was too big. Everyone was confused because it had a thin body and a face they'd never seen before. Scientists who study animals got very interested. They thought this might be a new kind of creature that no one had ever found before. This discovery made everyone wonder what other mysterious animals might be hiding in the ocean. Monstrous fish. A person walking near the Thai beach saw something partially buried in the sand. It wasn't moving and looked really odd. Soon, lots of people came to see the round-shaped creatures. Some took pictures and shared them online. The animals had sharp teeth and looked like they came from the deep, dark parts of the ocean. Marine scientists quickly came to check it out. They solved the mystery by identifying it as a Pacific football fish. This weird fish usually lives deep in the ocean where it's very dark. Finding it on the beach was super rare and made everyone wonder about what other strange creatures might be hiding in the sea. Giant furry creature. A strange discovery on a Russian island beach left everyone scratching their heads. People found a huge sea animal on Sakhalin Island. It had a bird-like beak, feathers on its tail, and a body bigger than 2 grown-ups. The creature's bones were sticking out of its hide. Even the marine experts couldn't explain what it was. Scientists thought warm ocean currents might have brought this odd animal to shore. They guessed it could be a mix between fishing birds and dolphins. This weird creature made everyone wonder what other strange animals might be hiding in the deep sea. Choked flathead. Michael Poole, a 63-year-old fisherman, saw something at Burt Hill Lake that he'd never forget. He found an 18-year-old flathead fish that had passed away in a strange way. A small breamfish was stuck in its throat. The bream had tried to eat the flathead, but got caught on its sharp, shark-like teeth. Michael was amazed. He had been fishing there for over 50 years and never seen anything like it. When he went back later, all he found was the flathead skeleton. Michael kept it as a reminder of nature's harsh lessons. This odd discovery showed that in the wild, there are no second chances to be careful. Creepy creature. 2 friends were hunting for rare blue gems on the misty Oregon coast. With each step, their feet sank into the wet sand. Suddenly, they spotted something odd in the water. Floating on a piece of wood were strange creatures in thin shells. These weren't gems, but gooseneck barnacles. The friends were amazed by the barnacles' yellow legs and beautiful white and brown bodies. Nature had surprised them with something even more special than the gems they were looking for. The friends knew they'd never forget this day at the beach. They left with a new appreciation for the unexpected wonders that can be found along the shore. Strange creature. A group of locals were strolling along the shore when they saw a strange, colorful creature. It was long and had lots of bristles all over its body. The creature looked weak and was barely moving at the water's edge. Curious and concerned, the people took pictures and called for help. Marine experts quickly came to the scene and carefully moved the odd-looking animal to a nearby research center. There, scientists figured out it was a rare type of worm called a polycate. They gently placed it in a tank of seawater to help it get better. After studying and caring for the unusual visitor, the team released it back into the ocean where it belonged. Montauk monster. On the Montauk beach, a man came across a weird sea creature. It was so big and strange that the man tripped when he saw it. He had no idea what to do, so he called the police. The thing had a pig's body, a horse's head, and decaying bear claws. It was a very strange-looking creature. The man took pictures and told the town council, but nobody knew what to do. Scientists found similar creatures in other places too, but they couldn't figure out what they were. People started calling it the Montauk Monster of New York. It made everyone talk and come up with their own ideas about what it could be. The mystery of this strange beast remains unsolved to this day. Alien fish. A man taking a walk by Jordan Creek saw something that looked like it came from a scary movie. There was a strange alien-looking animal stuck in the mud. The creature was about as long as a tablet. It had slimy snake-like skin and a huge mouth full of sharp teeth. It definitely wasn't a normal fish. Experts identified it as a sea lamprey, a special kind of fish that looks pretty scary. The man sent the lamprey to a marine center. Green furry snake. A guy walking on a beach in Thailand suddenly stopped when he saw something really weird. It was a green and yellow creature that looked furry. The animal was about 2 feet long and was moving through the water in a swampy area. Instead of scales like most water animals, it had a fluffy fur-like skin that was bright green. At first, people thought it might be some kind of dragon or made-up creature. But when experts looked at it, they discovered it was actually a puff-faced water snake, even though it wasn't a new species. Finding such an unusual-looking snake was still very exciting. Prehistoric monster. Sunbathers on a New Jersey beach got quite a shock when they saw something weird half buried in the sand. It looked like it came from prehistoric times. The creature was approximately 8 feet long with a diamond-shaped scaly body and a cone-shaped back. Some speculated that it was a new species, while others suspected it was a sea monster from old stories. After careful study, experts figured out what it really was: a sturgeon, which is just a big fish. Even though it looked strange, it was an unusual fish that had washed up on the shore. Tiny blue sea creatures. Something amazing happened at California's Rodeo Beach. Thousands of tiny blue sea creatures washed up on the shore.
I guess my concern is, first, is this normal?
These little animals, part of the jellyfish family, were only a few inches long. Scientists from the aquarium said they were called velua. Usually these creatures don't come to the beach, but something special brought them there. Experts think climate change, especially something called El Nino, might have caused this unusual event. While the blue creatures were beautiful to see, people had to be careful not to get too close. It was a rare chance to see how climate can affect sea life in surprising ways. Biggest lobster. 4 friends were having fun at Laguna Beach, California, when they spotted something weird in the sand. It was a huge red lobster. This lobster was as big as a small boat. Its bright red colors stood out on the beach. The friends were excited, but also a bit scared. They took lots of pictures of this amazing creature. Later, they found out it was a red king lobster, a type that scientists sometimes use in experiments to make new kinds of lobsters. Hoodwinker sunfish. Something strange washed up on a Santa Barbara beach recently. It was a fish that didn't belong there at all. The fish was huge and flat, shaped kind of like a question mark. It had tiny eyes and was about 7 feet long and 6 feet wide. It looked really weird lying on the golden sand. Someone took pictures, and soon the whole internet was talking about it. Scientists studied the fish for days. Finally, they figured out what it was: a hoodwinker sunfish. These fish usually live far away in the southern hemisphere, so finding one in California was super surprising. Rare angler fish. A regular beachgoer was taking pictures at Black's Beach when he saw something that made him stop in his tracks. There on the sand was a strange fish. At first, people thought it was a jellyfish, but when they looked closer, they saw it had rows of sharp teeth and a glowing part on its head. It was about the size of a soccer ball. Experts identified it as a Pacific football fish, a type of angler fish that usually lives deep in the ocean. Finding one on the beach was really rare and exciting. It made people wonder what other mysterious creatures might be living in the deep sea. Weird sea creature. An 11-year-old girl was building a sandcastle when something weird popped out of the sand. The video of her discovery went viral on Facebook. The strange thing had 2 rows of teeth and odd-looking gills. People wondered if it was a new species or even an alien. Wildlife experts came to take a look. After studying it, they solved the mystery. It wasn't an alien or a new creature at all. It was just the gills of a normal fish, the part that's usually thrown away. This story shows how everyday things can sometimes look very strange. Deep sea squid. A family's beach trip in New Zealand returns into a big adventure when they found something huge buried in the sand at Golden Bay. The creature they found was almost 13 feet long. It looked so strange that the family felt like they discovered an alien. Experts later said it was a giant squid, one of the biggest types of sea animals. These squids can grow up to 43 feet long and have eyes as big as dinner plates. Pictures of the squid went viral on the internet. Scientists were really excited about studying it to learn more about these mysterious deep-sea creatures that are rarely seen. Horn shark. On Tuesday, beachgoers at Sydney's Bondi Beach got a big surprise. Something weird had washed up on the shore. At first, the person who found it thought it might be a decomposing coffin ray. The creature was tangled in seaweed and had an odd flat body with a funny-looking face. It had lips that looked almost human and skin like a shark. But when marine scientists took a closer look, they figured out it was actually a horn shark.
A horn shark?
They could tell by its head shape and spiky fins. Finding this unusual shark gave people a chance to see what kind of interesting animals live in the waters near Bondi Beach. Bird's whale. Beachgoers on Phuket Island got a big surprise when they found a huge lifeless fish on the sand. It was so big, it looked like it was in pieces. Lots of people came to see the mysterious giant whale. Marine experts arrived too. They took samples of the whale's skin and bones to figure out what happened. They discovered it was a rare bird's whale that had passed away naturally. To keep the water clean, the experts covered the whale with sand. Even though the whale was gone, people still remembered the amazing sight. It made them think about how fragile life can be, even for the biggest animals in the ocean. Difficult to identify. A man playing with his family on a San Francisco beach found something unexpected. He picked up a small critter from the rocky shore. At first, they thought it was a dolphin, but this animal had a small mouth and no long nose like dolphins do. It was of old age, but its body was still in one piece. When scientists looked closer, they realized it wasn't a dolphin at all. It was actually a harbor porpoise. This discovery showed how even familiar beaches can hold surprises and teach us about the animals living in our oceans. Marine carcass. Residents of Sable Island found something they'd never forget: a huge rotting sea creature on the shore. It was as wide as a bus and had long, thin arms. At first, people thought it might be a giant squid or cuttlefish. The smell was so bad that villagers couldn't stop talking about it. But when scientists looked closer, they realized it was actually parts of a whale. By measuring the bones, the experts thought it might be a baleen whale. They took samples to learn more about how old the whale was at the time of its passing. This strange discovery showed that even familiar beaches can hold big surprises from the deep sea. Sea monster with teeth. A couple walking on the beach in Mazatlan, Mexico found something that made them stop and stare. It looked like a weird eel with sharp teeth. They weren't sure what it was. Maybe a sea serpent or just a rope. They took photos and asked people on Facebook for help. Some thought it was a giant moray eel, while others said it might be a legendary sea monster. Marine biologists finally figured it out. It was a fang-toothed snake eel, a fish that usually lives deep in the ocean where people rarely see it. This strange discovery got lots of people excited and curious about what else might be hiding in the sea. Horseshoe crab. A group of people walking on a quiet beach found something that looked like it came from another time. It was a big black crab. This wasn't just any crab. It was almost 2 feet long with a hard, shiny black shell. Its head was shaped like a dome, and it had a sharp spike on its tail. The crab was partly buried in the sand, with only its back showing. Experts later identified it as an Atlantic horseshoe crab with an unusual black color. These amazing animals have been around for over 450 million years and are like living fossils. Finding one on the beach felt like discovering a piece of ancient history.
And now, let us move on to our subscriber pick of the day.
Beachgoers in Ireland got a big shock when they found a huge, creepy creature washed up on the sand. It was so strange that scientists rushed to the scene to investigate. The monster-like animal was massive with rotting skin that smelled terrible. Its eyes were distorted, making it look even scarier. Nobody could tell right away what kind of creature it was. Scientists worked quickly, taking samples of the creature's skin and bone, and they wanted answers. After their inspection, the team carefully buried the mysterious beast in the sand. This weird discovery left everyone wondering what other secrets the ocean might be hiding. Huge blob. A guy went to the beach for some sun when he spotted something big in the distance. As he got closer, he couldn't believe his eyes. There, on the shore, was a huge creature. It wasn't a whale shark, though. It was something even stranger. The animal was about 30 meters long with a hard shell-like body covered in tiny shells. It was dark blue and had 4 long legs. A big crowd gathered to see this weird sea animal. Marine experts came to check on it. They found it was okay and decided to help. Using a big boat, they carefully moved the creature back into deep water, where it could swim freely again.